The cost of IT in business can be staggering. From hardware and software expenses to services like internet and phone, you don't need to spend a fortune on IT to succeed. If your organization spends more than $500 monthly on any service, or you're considering signing a long-term contract, IT Enabled can help you manage your technology and minimize your costs. Contact us today to schedule a free consultation. IT Enabled, we're here to help.
Hi, I'm Tara Watson-Watkins, President and CEO of the Lufkin, Angelina County Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to the Connect podcast, connecting business to the community. I am joined today by my great co-host, Blake Pollino with BP Media Group.
So this week we're interviewing Cory, Pigg, and Mark Crocker of S&W Expert Collision Repair. They're talking all about the changes that have happened in the collision repair world and the automotive world and everything that goes into that. It's super interesting, super complex, and a really cool episode. Let's get into that now.
Well, today I have the honor of getting to visit with two good friends, one being an older friend. And we're excited to have Cory Pigg and Mark Crocker from S&W Collision. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. So Cory and I grew up together, same age, graduated together. And then Mark is actually the husband to Amanda Crocker that works at the chamber. So it's a great pairing of friendships that all get to come together and hear about what S&W is.
Okay. So.
Yeah. So why don't you just tell the listeners a little bit about your background, where you're from, how'd you get to Lufkin, things like that, and then we'll go ahead and talk about S&W.
Okay, well, I personally was born in Lufkin long time ago and raised here in the community, graduated from Lufkin High School. Met my wife through the high school, Ashley Matchett, Pigg. We ended up, we got married in 2000, moved off to finish school. We graduated from Southwestern Assembly of God University. I got a bachelor's in business administration. Shortly thereafter, after we completed school, we moved home. My dad was a contractor for Consolidated growing up, LCTX, formerly, but ended up working for him temporarily. And then Ashley's dad, who is Wendell Matchett, he was a founder of S&W Expert Collision Repair back in 1975 and has kind of grown. The business kind of grew over time, and he invited me for a position at S&W, and so I started in 2003, started there, and about to be 20 years.
That's hard to believe.
It is.
First of all, we're not old enough to be into this
Having done
far in our career. How about you, Mark?
So Mark Crocker, I grew up on and off in Lufkin. I graduated from Lufkin High School in 95. Went to college at Southwestern Assembly of God University. Graduated and then hit the career path. I worked in restaurant industry and then oil field. Met Amanda, of course, actually at Cory and Ashley's house. And then we got married and lived in Denton, DFW area. And then 2017 got a phone call, and then we came to Lufkin. And
right.
So here we are.
That's great.
Very cool. So tell us a little bit about S&W. So what it is for people who don't know and what you do.
Okay, S&W, like I mentioned before, my father-in-law started it in 1975. It's actually him and two of his friends. Within the first year, they had accumulated a little bit of debt, and so the other two guys said, we're gone, and they split to Houston. So Wendell was left with, debt and a business that he was trying to get off the ground.
Right.
He ended up calling some of the creditors and vendors that he was indebted to, and worked out a deal with them. And from then on, he just hard work and built up a reputation. He always wanted a repair facility that was pleasant to walk into, a business that was not smoky. He had worked in garages that did body work that are smoky and greasy, had the oil stains everywhere. He wanted to get away from that and just have something that people felt comfortable walking into. And so he's accomplished that over the years. He put the store on, moved out to Loop 287 where it currently is. And it's a nice building. We try to update it. We try to keep it presentable.
Yeah.
And So that's kind of his vision that carries on, so many, almost 50 years later. 2025 will be 50 years.
Wow.
That it's been in business in Lufkin.
That's awesome.
Why do you think it's been successful for so long, other than just the cosmetic look of it?
Again, building the trust with community. One thing that when I first came to the shop, he kind of shared with me. He said, "We do little things for free. I mean, we can, if we're able to do it, then let's do it.
Yeah.
Little things such as, hey, could you buff a scratch off, or hey, what, my windshield wipers, something, or my bumper's coming off on the side. If people don't want to have it repaired, we'll try our best to find a solution that they're looking for. And that amount of service to the community is, again, it's a part of who he is, and it's been instilled to all of our employees. We kind of got a little mission. It is our mission statement: going the distance, every person, every car, every time. And that's what we try to do: go the distance to find a solution to an issue that a customer needs or our employees need, even that their personal lives. We want to continue that mission in them as well.
That's right.
That's awesome.
Which is kind of neat, because I was going back and looking at all of our employees. A lot of the success is dependent on them.
Always.
And our employees, there's I was asking our personnel lady this morning that, who's been here the longest? And we've got one employee that's been here 38 years.
Wow.
We've got several that have been here 36 years. And it's just impressive to see the career longevity that we've been able to keep.
Yeah, but that says a lot about the culture that's there every single day.
Yep.
The foundation that it was built on, and what y'all continue to do with it.
And it says a lot about the leadership of, again, my father-in-law, who instilled it. I mean, it was embedded in who the business is.
Yeah. That's such an easy way to reveal what's really going on behind the scenes when it comes to businesses. It's like, if you've got people, first off, 5 decades of doing business, like that's a pretty easy way to tell that you've been doing something right, to be around that long. But then to also have people that have been there for, 4/5 of that time, that's crazy. Like that's a real true testament to doing good things. And I'll give you a shout out. We've thankfully not had to use collision repair a lot, but in the one case that we did, a lot of people will say in business, we go above and beyond, like we do the extra mile, and I think that's just become a cliche thing of like when you ask somebody, what sets your business apart, we ask people that all the time. It's our customer service. It's like, if everyone says it's their customer service, it's probably not their customer service, but you guys truly do. I mean, we were really, really blown away at how far you guys had gone the extra mile for something that a lot of times is an industry that people are really scared of, right? Of getting taken advantage of, and definitely a huge shout out to you guys for that. But with that, what are some of the difficulties of what you do? What are some challenges?
There are challenges.
Yeah.
Sure. We invite them in, actually. That's part of our business model, is to bring problems into the door, and then we try to solve them for them.
Yeah.
The consumer, we have to have insurance in order to be able to even drive the vehicle. On the vehicle, we have to have insurance, communicating with customer and insurance companies about what's needed for the repair. That's ongoing for us. We want to make sure that we facilitate that between the customer and insurance company throughout the whole process, so everyone is aware of what's going on.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that we're providing a safe and quality repair for the customer. There's a lot of things I've heard in the past that may not necessarily be a safe repair, and that's one of the things that we want to advocate, is a truly safe repair for the customer.
There's so much newer technology on vehicles now than there were 20 years ago.
Oh, absolutely.
It used to be that the upper end cars had all the newer features, the parking sensors. Well, now even your base model have the camera systems, the computer systems, the radar, LiDAR, adaptive cruise control that follows a car
That freaks me out every time.
the same distance. If they slow down, then you're slowed down. So you have to have the correct calibrations. You have to have the electric vehicles that are coming out. Those are all going to be, those are some of the biggest challenges within the industry itself.
I'm sure.
And educating our employees, continuing education for them, investing in the new technology, the new tooling that's necessary to repair these vehicles. And even the exotic metals that they have now, most Fords are aluminum now. Well, a lot of the cars have aluminum panels, but knowing how to repair these vehicles our technicians are becoming really more specialized in what they do. And to do it correctly, if the whole purpose is to repair a vehicle so that it can withstand a future accident correctly.
Right.
Because the occupants in that vehicle, they need to be protected. And if it's not repaired correctly, if that car or vehicle is not repaired correctly, then it could compromise the structural integrity of the panel and result in, losses that we're not wanting to.
Yeah. I can imagine with the way that technology has been implemented in cars, you guys are basically like a computer repair shop that just happens to do a little bit of body work, right? Like it's, right. I can just not imagine with some of these vehicles. What specifically, so I have to imagine that we've been doing things the same way for so long with combustible engines, right? So now that it's completely changed, has that changed everything? I mean, sure, like body repair and all that's the same, but when it gets to like drivetrain stuff, has it just gotten wildly different for you guys?
Not necessarily. We don't, as far as the mechanics of it, we don't do a lot of that type of repair.
Right. It
is more structural body, frames are even becoming a little bit more.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, there's not an engine there anymore, right? So, like, when you have a front impact, it's different.
there are differences in it. I don't think that the tsunami has hit the East Texas market yet.
Right.
For those, so we've kind of lucked out on that.
That's good. Yeah, I've heard some horror stories about how hard some of these new EVs are to repair, but that's good. I'm glad you guys are in a good place with that.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people know that you have multiple locations. Is that right?
We do.
So let's talk about those.
Okay. Nacogdoches S&W NAC, or S&W 2, was built in 2000, actually opened in June of 2001.
Okay.
And it has been immediately, again, that reputation of excellence and service I'm not going to say it took Nacogdoches by storm, but within a matter of, the first year, they were one of the top performing shops in the Nacogdoches area. Awesome. And we have probably customers within a 100-mile radius that come to S&W. I mean, for customers in Livingston that could easily go to shops in Houston, but they know S&W.
That's right. They know your reputation.
That's great.
So that's down Rayburn, Sam Rayburn area.
Yeah.
A lot of customers, loyal customers from there as well. So
yeah,
they come from all around.
What's something that people probably don't understand about collision repair? What's a common misconception or myth or something that you guys run across?
That it's easy? It's not necessarily easy.
Yeah.
Well, you could just buff that out.
Yeah.
We talked about ADAS or the advanced driving systems with the vehicles. One of the things that we have to do in every one of the vehicles that we receive in now is evaluate the diagnostics of the vehicle and understand what's going on inside of the vehicle on the computer modules to understand how severe the damage was. And so we have to evaluate that, and if there needs to be even a recalibration. If you
about your windshield.
Yeah, the windshield. That's it. Yeah. So a windshield, if you need a new windshield and you replace it with another one, how does it know that it's going to be able to have the rain sense? Well, you have to test those out.
Wow.
And you had your windshield replaced from a hailstorm in Denton.
Yeah, I did.
And then what happened when you were driving in town?
I don't recall.
The dip on Frank Street?
Oh, no. Yeah. So there was one instance. Amanda and I were in Florida, in Jacksonville, Florida. We had a rental car, and whenever we came to a bridge, and it had ADAS up front to sense whenever it needed to stop if there was something approaching. Well, when we reached that bridge, it immediately stopped and jerked us forward because it was thinking that we were about to hit something.
Oh my gosh.
And so then it figured it out that we weren't actually going to hit anything, and then we were able to proceed. But that whole ADAS, or understanding how to recalibrate those items and having those performed, are crucial in any incident, because if it's not working properly, then it may cause other issues
That's right.
that you don't want to have.
And that's calibration is basically pointing the cameras or the radars in the precise location that it's needed in order to perform its task. If it's a degree off from here to 10 feet, you're not going to have that big of a decision. But 100 yards off, a degree off, it makes a difference, and it might not pick up the car that's coming in your lane.
Sure.
So that's the importance of making sure that everything is covered. And this is new to our industry. The collision industry, they have to work in tandem with the insurance industry. And some of this newer technology has not made its way to people that have been doing it the same way for so long.
Right.
So you have adjusters out there that are sometimes reluctant. Well, no, I don't think that's needed because it hasn't been needed before.
Right.
But now we're educating ourselves. We, again, are schooling ourselves and taking the initiative to make sure that the customer knows why procedures are having to be followed, why certain repairs are needed. So it's a growing, I guess it's a growing concern that people are starting to address now.
Yeah.
And one of the, you bring up procedures. So with the original manufacturers, so the OEMs,
Which are Ford, Chevy, Dodge.
right?
Okay.
They have procedures that they want done on each one of the makes and models. So they tell you exactly how they want that repaired.
Interesting.
And so we want to make sure that we replicate that,
Right.
and providing that product exactly back to what it was prior, or the best we could,
And sometimes those instructions, it was just funny because, it's not funny, but they change because the engineering changed between years, makes and models. Sometimes the replacement procedures can change on a weekly basis.
Interesting.
So you're constantly having to touch base with the manufacturer and research the procedures and make sure that you're repairing that vehicle the way it was designed to be repaired.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have learned so much. Like, this is not a topic that I think about at all. But, I would never think about. I mean, I think about bringing you something to have it buffed out. I don't think about all that is behind all of that. So,
there's a lot.
yeah.
Even something as simple as a bumper repair. They used to repair bumpers periodically, but now if you put any sort of material that thickens the plastic on a front bumper cover, well, the radar behind that's mounted to the reinforcement or the interior or internal structure of the vehicle can't see through, or
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
so it's kind of it's almost like a puzzle.
I was going to say, you're putting together a puzzle.
So there are problems. They come in with problems. We can't just solve.
It really is. Yeah. That's an interesting point of view for your industry, is like people are just constantly bringing you problems, right? This is my problem. How can you fix it? And we say that in business a lot of times, like, oh, we're problem solvers, but like, you guys are very truly problem solvers. Everything that comes to you is a problem. Like, nobody's ever just coming in saying, hey, we just want to, I don't know, build us a car from scratch or something like that, right? It's always fixing something that's broken, and that's an interesting place to
And
be.
not everybody, shops are beginning to recognize these things that we've been talking about. And a lot of shops do know about this. Some choose to follow, some don't. The majority of I think that the majority of the shops in our area have been educated and they know. So that's a good thing, especially for our community, to make sure the cars are repaired correctly.
Yeah.
There are those out there that are not. So same thing as
Like choosing a doctor. Do
choosing
your
a doctor.
research.
And also make sure your insurance policies cover the correct repairs. There are cheaper insurance companies out there, but you don't know that you don't know how good they are until you need them.
Yeah, sure.
And so make sure the insurance policies that you purchase cover correct repair procedures and factory parts.
great.
Those are things that you can ask for.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Well, just like they just said, do your research, find out who does what. But the great part is in Lufkin and Nacogdoches, we have S&W that can help take care of any problem, and we'll do it the correct way. So we appreciate you being on. What do you want to tell people if they're in an accident? What do they need to know?
Well, we're an advocate for them. We want to provide a safe and quality repair for them. We will communicate with the insurance companies and make sure that the customer is aware as well as to what is happening with their vehicle. They do have a choice. They can go wherever they want to go. It says in the law, Texas law, that they can choose whatever facility they want to go to. In fact, they could choose the parts on the vehicle of whatever they want. So making sure the customer is aware that they do have options whenever they do decide to have a repair done.
That's great.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate that. Where can people find you if they need your services, if they need collision repair? What do they do? They call you, they have their record drop it off?
All of the above.
On a daily basis.
All of the above, yeah.
Yeah.
swcollision.com. We're online there. You can message us online.
Cool.
You can call, stop by. And that's something that we don't have necessarily. You don't have to have an appointment to come by and see us. We are open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. We will make, other arrangements if that simply cannot
Awesome.
make it by name.
Well, awesome. Well, appreciate y'all coming on the podcast.
Perfect. Yeah, if you're looking for them, they're almost right in front of Lowe's.
Mm-hmm.
Just catty corner to Lowe's. So go by and see them.
Well, thank you so much.